Hello and welcome to the second topic in our series for the Real Confident Carer program. We will be talking about settling in and what it will entail. So, now that you've got your accommodation, the paperwork is done, it's sorted, woo, and you finally get to actually sit down and realize you are here in the land of the king. Now what? What do you do? In this presentation, we'll be looking at three basics: how you transition, how you adapt, and how you can integrate. So, the three steps basically to settling in here is it's all right to transition. So, you have transitioned in the sense of literally moving physically from one place to another, from your home to this new home. So that actual transition, it didn't just happen like if you flew and then you have to drive to a certain place and finally get to your place. And your transition period might not just be the day you arrive. It will take some time, believe me. So let yourself, and also there's going to be the transition in terms of culture, moving from what you know how things are done and how things are actually done here. Then you have to do your adaptation, adapting one day at a time, which will take you to places, believe it or not. And then integrate how you can allow yourself to enjoy being here and make friends, even fall in love. So, first step, transitioning. Like I said, you physically move from one country to another, one continent to another, possibly. Please don't feel pressured to fit in right away. It's okay for you to take it in, absorb it, be shocked, be happy, be surprised, whatever. But take in, even the weather is going to feel different, whether it's summer or winter, autumn or spring. So you need to transition into these new experiences that you're going to have. And remember, I said all 4 seasons. So the transitioning process is not just going to be a week or two, it might take a year or even more. But take time and let your mind and body acclimatize you to your new surroundings. Whilst you are transitioning, you need, not everything will be the way you thought it would be or the way you wish it to be. And this means you might need to adapt. So there's some things that probably you took for granted back home. You are going to realize that, oh, these things are not here. And yet you thought you were coming to a place where everything is. Or there's some things that you might see that, oh, these are extra to what you expected. Or you've heard about it, but you were not really sure. I'll give an example: keeping time. Almost always back in Africa, it doesn't matter which part of Africa you come from. Most of the time, there's allowance for time. And here, that might not necessarily be the case. You must adapt to being on time every time. So think about it. Be aware of the things that you might need to, some of the comforts that you thought were difficulties back home. And now you're realizing, oh, it's not as easy to get ABC. Or, oh, it's so much easier to get ABC. Don't get carried away. Just slow down, take it in, assess it, and when time comes, ask. Then lastly, in settling in, you need to integrate. Yes, it you might have been told, yeah, keep to yourself, keep your head low. But to be honest, and this might seem contrary to common advice, but don't be a loner. You will get lonely. Please try to look for a group that will assist you to integrate. And with this program for real confident carers, talk to Farisa and she'll be able to maybe connect you some groups or a list of groups. Of course, there are other easier groups that are sometimes just instant. For example, church. So go to church and find a group that might speak to your heart. But remember, again, you might need to adapt the way they do things. Maybe the way you thought church was is not exactly how it is here. At this point, I would just like to do a reality check. So, most people, of course, when moving from Africa to Europe and the UK specifically, you are doing so in order to be comfortable in life. Maybe you were having hardships back home, and so you're here to make money. Take note, you will not, there's no like come in and then you get money and then boom, within 2 3 weeks your life is, or even after the month, your first month of working, then your poverty has been alleviated and now you start making money. Please be careful about that when you settle in. Even if you have a relocation allowance, use it wisely. Okay. The other thing is, don't be too hard on yourself. Some people will now, you eat one slice of bread and what you are counting every cent. Life is lived concurrently to sorting out financial battles. So yes, indeed, you might have loans that you need to pay back, or maybe even your flight ticket was paid for by someone else and you need to pay them back. Or you have, if you have some financial issues, remember to also live your other things, your social, your spiritual, your mental, your physical life. It's lived. Don't then say just because you want to solve your money problems, you can't live. Right. So saving make time for making money, yes. And during that time, it also coincides with living. Your time once lost can never be regained. So time is irredeemable. Make sure you plan your time wisely. And again, all this will be in detail in our handbook and the live sessions that you'll have with Farisai. And thank you so much for listening to this presentation. We hope to see you at the sessions. Ciao. Bye.